Let's go to the hotline pickle. There was college football this weekend involving a Texas team, the UTEP Miners. It did not go as planned for the Miners, and we are pleased to be joined by Colin Deaver. Colin Deaver is the host of The Mineshaft, the UTEP podcast on the Dave Campbell's Republican Football Podcast Network. Colin, do you read me?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I got you perfectly loud and clear. How are things in beautiful El Paso, Texas?
Well, I'm currently headed out of El Paso to Las Cruces because we also, for my day job at KTSM, we cover New Mexico State as well. But, always happy to talk about the UTEP Miners, no doubt.
You're just all over the Battle of I-10. That's just your scene.
Yeah. At this point, I am the Battle of I-10, so that's how I feel.
So UTEP opens their season last week on the road at FBS newcomer Jacksonville State, and it doesn't go great. 17-14, the Miners fall to the Gamecocks. I'm interested in your perspective as the guy who is as close to this program as anybody. What you made of what we saw from the Miners on Saturday?
Well, it just felt like deja vu from a lot of their games last year. They go 5-7 a season ago, and they had games against Rice, against Middle Tennessee, against UTSA, where they did a lot of fantastic things. Go look at the stat sheet from Saturday. They outgained Jacksonville State, I think, by almost 100 yards. They did some good things. The defense was solid. It held a rushing attack under Rich Rodriguez that has been fantastic at Jacksonville State. They pretty much held them in check. They held them to 65 passing yards. They did some good things. It's just the thing that has always just shot them in the foot the last couple of years, and it's just silly mistakes. It's taking back-to-back timeouts. It's turnovers in really bad spots. It's decisions on play calls. Whether it be in the first half, whether it be late in the game. Obviously, the two throws on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 certainly made the rounds on Twitter and social media over the weekend. It's just, I would just say deja vu. I do think I will say that the game goes entirely differently. I truly believe this. If that touchdown on their first drive does not get overturned, Kelly Akari almost comes down with that. If it's a game at the Sun Bowl where they have 4 camera angles instead of a CBS Sports Network, opening weekend where they have 11, maybe there's not a camera angle that overturns it. And then you have a touchdown, 95 yards on your first drive of the season. And I just think the game completely changes after that. But just a lot of things, bad luck. That's bad luck, the touchdown getting overturned, but obviously some self-inflicted wounds that doomed them on Saturday.
This is now the 6th year under Coach Dana Dimmel, and there have been some positives from the Miners in his time there. Obviously, losing to an FBS newcomer is not exactly what Miners fans had in mind. What is the vibe among UTEP fans right now surrounding the man in charge there, Dana Dimmel, as he is now into his 6th year at the helm?
I wouldn't say it's great today for the reasons that you just said. Losing to an FBS newcomer, people are frustrated. And look, I think that Dana Dimmel, given the situation, he walked into a situation where somebody else had burned the house down before he got there. And then he was tasked with completely rebuilding the foundation. Doing everything. But they're kind of beyond that point now. You're in year 6. You've built the program. You've already been to a bowl game. These are all your guys. I said it last week. This is the year they've been waiting for, theoretically. This is the year that they should be, a bowl game should be the expectation. And a conference title, while I didn't pick them to win a conference title before the season started. If things break right for them this year, it's on the table. They have the talent. They have the experience to do that. So I think that frustration would be the right word to use. Certainly, you have your drastic people on social media who are calling for him to get fired after the game. I think that's a little ridiculous, but I think certainly frustration is the right word to use.
Talking with Colin Deaver of the Mineshaft of the Dave Campbell's Republic Football Podcast Network here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. There's another guy that I specifically want to ask you about, and that is QB1, Gavin Hardison. I don't know that there is a more baffling player in Texas college football than Gavin Hardison, because in watching him, there are times where he makes throws that you say, that's an NFL throw. Like, there are throws that he makes that are jaw-dropping that almost nobody else in the state can make. And then there are times where he will make really just astounding decisions that leave you scratching your head. The quarterback spot at UTEP has befuddled them for a minute. Is there a sense that this was just one bad game and that there could be a move forward, or is this just kind of what we're going to get from Gavin Hardison on a weekly basis?
Well, he's been starting now. This is his 4th season,
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of that, right? For the 4 years that he's kind of been the starting quarterback. You're right. He has as much arm talent as anybody at the group of 5 in college football. Scouts come through from the NFL level to talk to him basically every single practice. Dana Dimmels told a story about one of the scouts for the Giants last week, saying that he had as strong of an arm as anybody in the NFL, not just college football, in the NFL. So he has so many attributes that, to your point, make him, when he's on, one of the best quarterbacks at the group of 5 level. He also seems like 1 or 2 things a game that leave you scratching, like you said. So this is his last year of eligibility. This has got to be the year if they're going to kind of do all the things that they think they can do. I mean, he has to be the one that steps up and makes it happen. And I know that's super cliche, right, to say, if the quarterback plays well, the team's going to be good. But, I mean, we've seen what they can be when he's, average to pretty good, and that's a pretty good football team. They win when he plays pretty well. They usually win. So I think if he can step it up this year and kind of live up to like the flashes that he's shown and do it on a more consistent level, then yeah, they could be pretty good. But to this point, it just hasn't been as much of a consistent effort from Gavin in the offense as they would probably like to see. But I certainly, again, the flashes are there. He's capable. The offense is capable. They just have to do it on a more consistent basis.
It's on to the next one. Saturday night, Incarnate Word comes calling to the Sun Bowl for the home opener for the Miners. I don't want to go crazy here, but at Northwestern, I mean, who the heck knows what that's going to look like? And then at Arizona on the horizon. Is it fair to call Saturday night? I don't want to be an alarmist, but is it fair to call Saturday night a must-win for this team?
Oh yeah, I don't think you're being an alarmist there, and I think people really need to realize. I don't know that UTEP fans are completely aware, and people know that Incarnate Word went to the FCS semifinals last year, but I mean, this is a game that they're going to have to play. This isn't you're walking out there and playing some middle of the road Big Sky team. This is probably going to be a pretty good team. Zach Calzada is the quarterback. He beat Alabama 2 years ago when he was at A&M. He's not going to be afraid of stepping into the Sun Bowl to play UTEP. So I think it's more of a more difficult game than maybe people are here might realize. So, but no, I think it's completely fair to call it a must-win game, because if you lose it, you're 0-2. Again, like you said, Northwestern is interesting. It's so interesting with everything going on around there. Maybe it's a game they win, but you can't just expect as a group of 5 team to go on the road and beat 2 Power 5 teams 2 weeks in a row. That's just not something that you can expect. So yeah, I mean, I think it's very fair to call this a must-win game to get to 1-1.
He's Colin Deaver. You can see his fine work on KTSM out there covering UTEP and New Mexico State, and you can hear him on the Dave Campbell's Republic Football Podcast Network on the Mineshaft, where they will have complete coverage of your UTEP Miners. Colin, appreciate your time, my friend, and take care. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, thank you guys for having us. We'll have another podcast of the Mineshaft up today, so people can get our thoughts there too.
Fantastic. More UTEP content. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you.
There he goes, Colin Deaver. of the Mine Shaft of the Dave Campbell's Republic Football Podcast Network. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.